Wanted to give you a quick update where I am a few weeks after I made a video talking about the publishing platform that I'm working on, and I wanted to give you an update. So what I stated as my minimum viable, I don't want to say deliverable because it's to me, the minimum viable version of features that I was aiming for, which was mostly a way for me to prioritize the order in which I was going to do things, was that I wanted to be able to take a domain that I registered, point the DNS to where I'm hosting it, make a few entries in a content management system, and that site would be live. That there wouldn't have to be provisioning a new site as a thing on the hosting, and that I would be able to put pages up and posts up. And that was achieved. So there is no theming of the sites. You get to put a logo next to the name. You get, if you want to put color inside the content itself for a site, that works, but the menus are just black and gray and white, and that all works. I'm not putting a lot out because I'm continuing to work on the platform itself, but at jwinia.com, there's now just a rudimentary, bare bones, basic site that needs a lot of work, but it does function. It also includes the metadata for search engines to spider it. It includes the sitemap. All that stuff is working, and it all drives off of the domain name of whatever URL you load it with. And in the Directus side of things, I've gotten to a point where, like I said, all the pages and posts and everything works, but I'm now working on building out forms and entries into collections for podcasts and podcast episodes, for YouTube channels, and episodes for YouTube. And that's also pushing me toward building workflows around doing a video like this and then repurposing it for a podcast so that the audio comes out as well, and generating subtitles for videos, but then taking those subtitles and using that to write up a multi-post thread on Threads or Blue Sky or Mastodon or one of those kinds of places, and turning it into a blog post, and that blog post pointing at the video, and sort of being able to take the few minutes that making a video like this, or the long ones, some of them are 45 minutes or whatever, but taking those and then turning it into lots of different things, different outlets, different places that it can go, trying to build out some automations around those things, trying to build out ways in which it's not so much manual work, templating of things, templating of building the cards, the title cards for videos like this. And that's also sort of pushing me more toward making more content like this video, which is just me talking to the camera, more vlog style, not going to cut and edit a lot of this, trying to see if I can get a little bit of the spontaneity that I had when using TikTok more aggressively, and bring that cadence of producing over and make it productive, but also to provide things like, for anybody who liked the way I was doing TikTok over there, that maybe the podcast version becomes a replacement without me having to sort of sell my soul to another platform that can control things or be shut down easily. So that's all happening. I'm working on flows in N8N that allow me to gather information from various places. I'm literally working on one, it wasn't even for publishing specifically, but I'm working on one that watches Hemmings Motor News, which is a classic car classifieds kind of site, that it watches for all of the classic Beetles and Karmann Ghia air-cooled Volkswagens, looking specifically for project cars. So artificial intelligence is looking at the listings to see which ones would work well for electric conversion. They're not, complete frame-off restorations that need to be done, but they're also not cars with beautifully rebuilt engines where taking that out and putting electric in would sort of be undoing somebody else's work, right? And that whole flow of doing things is chugging along, grabbing any new listings that come out, putting them in a database table, and then it can analyze and identify things that are useful for those kinds of projects. But that also could be repurposed to identify those that are ready to, if you wanted to buy a show-ready car that's ready to go, identify when those are available. Which means if I wanted to, and I'm not sure if I do or not, and I wanted to put up a website that was for people who are looking for classic car projects, that could all be repurposed. And that's the kind of thing I'm trying to do with this content platform overall. I'm also working with there's a guy named Paul Scrivens who has, I'm in sort of one of his, he's got a Google group of people who are working on content publishing and trying to build online businesses and some of that kind of stuff. And he's got a product in there that is a world building set of AI prompts that you can take a brand and have it help you, and I do mean help you, articulate your core purpose, your non-negotiables around this, and then the result of that world-building Bible that comes out of that process can then be used with other artificial intelligence prompts to, for instance, go watch the RSS feeds that are coming through and identify articles or press releases or whatever that would be of value for this brand given the context that we have available for that brand. And I've been taking his prompts and I'm building up N8N flows to actually be able to take any one of the brands, the domains that I've got in the portfolio that I'm trying to start using all of this to manage, and run it through that process to get a brand Bible. But then I can further automate the watching for content, and I can, I'm working on a set of prompts that will take like the transcript of a video and turn it into a blog post. That one's working really well. I've got one that I'm working on that will then take that and turn it into a 5-post thread kind of thing for Twitter-like sites like the Mastodon and all those. Blue Sky, Threads, all those kinds of places. And all those prompts are then making it so that the repurposing I was talking about at the beginning can in fact be done with me sort of supervising and making decisions and intervening and polishing instead of having to do it all manually. And one of the sites in this portfolio is going to be about using AI to write, such that it is not doing the writing for you. It is doing the sort of grunt work that needs to be done, and it's helping you do grunt work more effectively, which is a different approach than trying to say like everything that I just described being all automatic and on autopilot and you don't even look at it. I don't want to do that. I don't want these sites to be so lifeless that there's nothing of me in them. I want them to come from a place where, if articles are surfaced that are interesting and worth looking at, I can look at them, I can form a perspective on it, and then I can ask for what else I should be considering, what else I should include, and getting collaboration out of an AI instead of saying, yeah, take those articles and just publish some stuff about it. That's not, I'm sure people are going to do that all over the place. People are doing that. I don't think that that's going to work nearly as well, and so that's not what I'm doing. There's also a person that I worked with in the past that is interested in doing this as well, and so I'm collaborating with her on literally on the exact the installed instances of all these tools to help her get some sites up and running and maybe set up her own hosting version of it. But we're collaborating, working on that. One of the sites that we are going to sort of joint brand adventure together is going to be about answering questions about AI. I'm coming from a much more technical side of things, and she comes at it from more of a business product management side and marketing side. And so we're going to basically build 2 advice columns that are answering questions about AI and bouncing back and forth between them. all of that is going on in addition to the fact that I just finished my second week of a new contract gig, the contract gig being the thing that actually pays the bills right now. And that has me on site 2 or 3 days a week, but it is limited to a hard limit of 40 hours. And that's some of what's opened up my time to do more of the rest of this. And a lot of it is done with me, the computer on my lap, in the room with my wife and dogs, and basically with the family watching TV or something. So I'm not isolated down here by myself. And that's one of the nice things about writing and some of this AI work and some of this software work, is that it can often be done as sort of doing an activity in the same room kind of thing that a lot of neurodivergent people find a great way to socialize. So anyway, that's what's all going on. I'm finding that the tools that I've chosen are working great. Supabase and Directus and N8N all doing a great job on this. The front end that I built is working. I've got RSS feeds working as of last night for the blog posts, and that is the first step to being able to actually put media enclosures, which is what the MP3s of podcasting is. And that will mean that I'll be able to turn any site into a podcast without having to build out the whole thing or set up a new hosting instance of it, all of that. And that means that all of this tangles together, which is part of why even describing it is a non-linear description. It all tangles together in ways that line things up so that any piece of effort I'm doing has an outsized effect on the forward progress. So that's where things are at. I'm seeing ways in which I'm going to be able to at some point show more of this in like a hands-on kind of way, some open repositories. Oh, there's one more, which is built a Chrome browser extension so that I can bookmark or sort of indicate that something I'm browsing is in fact relevant for one of the projects. And so a little pop-up that's, I can pick a project and send a URL to the project, to the platform for the purposes of context. And that was fun. May do a video on how to build a browser extension with the WXT framework, which is what I did. And it was mostly me using Cursor AI to guide what I wanted it to do and get to a functioning browser extension. It was easier than I thought it was going to be. The last time I tried to do a browser extension, it had to all be done very, very manually, and this worked out really well. So anyway, that's sort of an update on this overall publishing platform, where it's at, how it's fitting into what I'm doing, how well it's going, and I'm really optimistic about being able to get what I want from it in the coming months. So stick around, subscribe if you want to see where this continues to go, if you want to be kept in the loop on what's happening, and if you want to see more of what I'm doing. That first site that I put up, jwynia.com, has links to all the rest of my social stuff. Same spelling as it is here, jwynia.com, and you will start to see that site fill up as these things come to fruition. Not as fast as I want, because I'm spending more time doing the building than I am making the content on it, but it's enabling for the not very far in the future kind of timeline. And like I said, really optimistic about where things are going. So stick around and see how things go.